Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name's Amy Gilligan, and I'm the executive editor of the Telegraph-Herald. And on behalf of the Telegraph-Herald and Her Magazine and BizTimes.biz and our sponsor, Dubuque Community Credit Union, I want to welcome you all to this event, the Salute to Women. So thank you for being here. It's great to be here. It's great to be anywhere, actually, where we're live and in person and actually seeing other people. So we are live streaming this event today, so it will be shown to a wider audience than the folks in this room. And then we'll make that available afterwards, so you can share that if there's somebody that you would like to see this event, they can go back and watch the video as well. So we really wanted to hold this event in whatever format we could, because honoring women, the caretakers of our community, is so important. So 2020 has been quite a year. It's like a year in a dog's life where we all age 7 years, I think. And for me, I had this moment the other day, not saying that I've maybe been the best parenting role model during the pandemic. I have a 17-year-old son, and he's a cross-country runner, so he's really into getting a lot of protein. And I noticed the other morning that he makes his protein drink in a martini shaker. I'm like, I don't know where the kid gets this, but we are happy to be here and to be holding this event, and we can't do it without the help of sponsors, and our sponsor today is Dubuque Community Credit Union. I want to introduce a few key people from the Telegraph-Herald, so you can hold your applause. I just want you to be able to put some names and faces together. Our CEO and President, Tom Woodward. Group Director of Advertising, Mike Fortman. Megan Gloss is our features editor, and she's the editor of Her Magazine, the beautiful magazine you see on the table in front of you. And Megan was also the writer who got to interview these amazing women that we're honoring today. So thank you, Megan. Jody Dodd, I don't know if she's in the room yet, but Jody was out at the front desk along with Michelle Schmidt. They're our events and marketing team, put this event together, as well as many others that we do. Paul Kreutside's back there. He's running the live stream, and he also did the videos that you will see today. And we've got a couple of photographers here, Dave Kettering and Nikki Cole. So I think that Luke Rodham, there's Luke, sorry. Luke, retail manager, also from our advertising department. So those are a few of our folks. And I want to introduce our keynote speaker this evening, or this morning. Nancy Van Milligan is Executive Director of the Community Foundation. She is a great sounding board and a great community partner. She is a deep thinker and a woman of compassion, and I'm proud to call her my friend. So please welcome Nancy Van Milligan.
Good morning, everyone. I want to take a minute to thank the TH for this wonderful event, for sure, but certainly for raising up women and raising up leadership. And when they put out the Her Magazine and they tell the stories of everyday women making a difference in our community, it gives permission or gives ideas to other women to then also follow in the suit and be a leader. So congratulations to all of the winners, the awardees, and let me begin. On a summer evening in 2011, my phone rang. The voice on the other end was my former foster daughter, Miracle, who lived with us in her early years. Miracle shared that she and her boyfriend and their 2 babies, Angel, 11 months old, and Harmony, 1 month old, needed a place to live. My husband and I said, "Come on over." After driving from Chicago in a minivan with their babies and all their worldly possessions, Miracle and David pulled into our driveway at 3 a.m. They lived with us for the next 2 years, and then they lived with us off and on for the next 10 years. Just a few weeks after they moved in, we, along with the rest of the world, experienced the tragedy of 9/11 and all the shock that came with it. I couldn't help but wonder, what is the future for this little family? What will Angel and Harmony's future be? Today we are again experiencing chaos, environmental, racial unrest, a global health crisis. The weight of it all is tremendous. But one thing I've learned in the 40 years of being a mom and time spent leading an organization working to build strong communities is the way to face a crisis is to step up and tackle the issue. Like a mother would do for her children, you love, you commit, and you advocate. It's no surprise the core of a mother's strength is love. David Brooks recently shared that to accurately size up a human situation, you have to project a certain attitude, a quality of attention that is personal, gentle, respectful, intimate, and affectionate. It sounds like the way we'd all like to be treated. It sounds like a mom to me. We talk about hate in the public sphere, hate speech, hate crime. What if love was at the center of our decision-making, our budgets, and our policy-making? What does a mother's love look like in the public space? I think it looks like love your neighbor as yourself and making sure no one is abused or neglected. It looks like providing adequate health care, child care, education, and employment opportunities. It looks like anti-racism. It looks like justice. Since my son, Kenny, was born in 1980, my husband and I have always had children in our home, by birth, adoption, foster care, foreign exchange, and sometimes just friends of my kids who needed a place to call home. We've lived up to the quilt panel my mother made me that said, "If there's room in the heart, there's room in the home." Many of our children came to us from challenging situations. We've done our best to advocate for them and to teach them that although some obstacles seem overwhelming, there are always opportunities to make positive change and to be that positive change. I've learned a lot about my own privilege raising foster children. I've learned how the world treats white people with resources differently than minorities and people living in poverty. Let me tell you two quick stories. An 18-month-old foster child, Jasmine, woke up with a fever. I called for an appointment and packed Jasmine and Joe, who was 6 months old, in the car along with the double stroller, a couple of diapers, and some Cheerios. The doctor's office that accepted the foster care green card was in an impoverished neighborhood in the inner city. By 10 a.m., the Cheerios were gone, and I was down to the last diaper. The waiting room was now a sea of crying babies. It was afternoon before we were called in to see the doctor. When he entered the exam room, he assessed the situation, and he said, "If I knew it was someone like you, I wouldn't have made you wait." Years later, I am sad to say that as an exhausted young mom, I didn't have the strength, or maybe it was courage, to point out to him that all of the moms deserved not to wait. One more short story. Angel and Harmony soon were joined by a baby sister, Liberty. They needed their annual checkup, and I called the doctor's office. "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment for Angel, Harmony, and Liberty Manriquez." The receptionist responded, "What kind of names are those?" I'm happy to report that I didn't say, "What kind of question is that?" as hopefully the woman didn't mean to insult. Maybe she had never had exposure to different names. Instead, I responded, "They are beautiful names." I'm happy to report those children with those beautiful names, Angel and Harmony, turned 18 and 19 this year, like millions of other babies that were born in 2011. I'm happy to say they're happy and healthy, they're in college and are working, they love to read and spend time with their friends. These two children know that they're loved. We here today are leaders. We are women. We empathize. We love. We advocate. The nurturing tenderness we feel for our own children becomes a desire for all children to succeed. Now, to be clear, you don't need to be a mom or a parent. I'm just suggesting do what moms do. Armed with love, see yourself as a solution and take action. If not you, then who? Another story. Rebecca, an extremely fussy, colicky 3-month-old, came to live with us one summer. Rebecca was taken from her parents because of a broken arm. She cried all the time and was inconsolable. We went to the doctor and got meds for her upset tummy. We pulled out the Perego buggy with the big springs, all in an attempt to comfort her and stop the crying. The caseworker stopped by one day. I was out on the deck reading a book, and the baby, Rebecca, was sleeping peacefully in the baby swing. I complained to the worker about the parents' neglect and the broken arm. The worker paused, and she proceeded to tell me about the mom and dad of this fussy baby. They were 18, they had no money and no support. Rebecca slept in a dresser drawer. They lived in a third-floor apartment in a dangerous neighborhood with no elevator and no air conditioning, and certainly no baby swing. It was an important moment for me. It's so easy to judge and condemn others when you don't know the circumstances they face. Understanding allowed me to empathize. Empathizing allowed me to act with love. The notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or more well known as RBG, said, "To make life a little better for people less fortunate you, that's what I think a meaningful life is. One lives not just for oneself, but for one's community." The root meaning of the word philanthropy is love for humanity. I'm honored to work at the Community Foundation, a philanthropic organization that has equity as our core value as we work to positively impact complex social issues. In my work with the Foundation, I've felt this love for humanity through our Vision to Learn program, which provides eye exams and glasses to school children, through Every Child Reads, where summer adventure programs ignite young excitement about literacy and education. And when a minority student who never imagined going to college, his or her life is changed because of our work with the Dubuque College Access Network. I feel it when we make a disaster recovery grant to make sure our immigrant neighbors have food and housing. I feel it when a high school dropout re-engages and receives his diploma. Love in action. The women being honored here today, Kelly, Nicole, Derica, Gwendolyn, Monique, and Danielle, have all made a loving impact in our community. Like RBG, they're breaking down barriers. They are leading the conversation about what it means for Dubuque to be an equitable community, for women as well as for racial and ethnic minorities. They are working hard towards systemic change, mentoring young women and constantly learning, pushing themselves and challenging those around them to be better and to do better. They are doing all of this with love. It's important to remember that as women, we are able to lead movements, make decisions about our health, and take more control of our careers and lives because of the hard work of our mothers, our grandmothers, and all of those who came before us. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was one of those women. Since her death, we've spent time as a country reflecting on her many remarkable accomplishments as a judge, a mother, a feminist, and a person who held true to her values in the face of a whole nation's questions. "Fight for the things you care about," she said, "but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." I'm proud today to recognize a group of loving women who today are doing just that. Thank you.
Before we present these winners, I want to make sure you get a look at this beautiful award created especially for us by another amazing woman, local artist Gail Chevenel. So thank you to Gail, and you'll have to appreciate these works of art that are our awards. I want to read a brief description of the awards, and then we'll direct you to the video screen, and you can watch a few brief remarks before we bring our winners up here. Our Woman to Watch Award is presented to a woman in the early stages of her career who's stepping up to help shape the tri-state area of tomorrow. This year's Woman to Watch is Nicole Salazar.
When I think of Nicole's characteristics, words like dedication, invested, faithful, compassionate, those are words that kind of come to mind because she uses those in each and every day and in everything she does.
So the key characteristics of Nicole that make her stand out are probably compassion, empathy, and just a general, care and concern about the community that she serves. When we hire officers, we try to find those things that are a little bit harder to track like that. I've often said I can teach anybody to write a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, but I can't teach that compassion and empathy.
The reason I nominated Nicole is because she is a true servant leader. She believes in first giving to the community and then showing that leadership by action. And I really admire that about her, and she's somebody who will not only inspire very young girls, but she also inspires those who are older than her, and that's not always an easy thing to navigate.
My first impression of Nicole was really the thing that caught me was her smile. I mean, she's one of those people that constantly has a smile on her face. She's one of a handful of officers that constantly smile to the point that you wonder what they're up to. So it was one of these things that, when I was introduced to these, she was actually an intern when she started with us. So you get introduced to this group of young, enthusiastic college kids that are trying to decide their career, and she just stood out, just based on her presence in the room. So that was kind of the initial impression, and then she kind of backed it all up with her work as she went out and performed as an intern and then later as an officer.
She can connect with someone by sharing empathy, but she can also make sure to keep everyone safe in this community. And that's what she's so passionate about, is making sure that she keeps everybody in Dubuque safe and sound. And I think she also gives individuals an opportunity to see someone who wears a police uniform and see that dedication and that passion that she shares in the work that she does with her fellow colleagues.
When she started, her career had to be focused on the day-to-day of her jobs. But once she started getting comfortable in that arena, then she started focusing, what can I do in the greater Dubuque community? So I think she's one of those folks that is looking at the big picture and not just the 9 to 5 or whatever shift she happens to be on. She's looking at, well, how can I have a greater impact on the greater Dubuque community?
When I think of where Nicole will be in 5 to 10 years, all I can think of is watch out Dubuque, because she is going to make a difference in this community. Her passion and dedication to nonprofit work and her work as a police officer combined together, I can see her leading initiatives, taking other programs in this community to a new height, and really expanding upon the diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community.
Okay, you're fine.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come here today and experience this with everyone here. I also wanted to say I didn't know what I was walking into until I got a little bit more information on the award, and I can only say that this is an honor. Secondly, I also want to say is thank you for the support from my family and friends, my significant other, the support from the community members, and my police department as well, and those that are watching virtually from home. So I wanted to say that, along with the last thing here is thank you for everyone here today that actually does want to make a difference. There's only baby steps, and we can only do one thing at a time, and if we work together, we can make great things happen. So thank everyone here for coming, and I hope you guys enjoyed your breakfast.
When my 17-year-old daughter lost control on a wintry day and put her car into the front end of the B branch, the first officer on the scene was Nicole. So if you have a very shaken up 17-year-old daughter get in a car accident, that's the officer you hope shows up. I have that to say. So congratulations to Nicole. So the Woman Who Makes a Difference Award goes to someone who exemplifies strong leadership, serves as a mentor, and makes her workplace and community better. This year's Woman Who Makes a Difference is Kelly Larson.
Oh man, there's a lot of different ways to describe Kelly Larson. Kelly Larson is an amazing leader who is a servant leader who understands the big picture of our community and understands the value of bringing people together to accomplish whatever mission that we're trying to accomplish.
When I think about my first impression of Kelly, it's when I interviewed her now 20 years ago, I can't believe that, for the position of Human Rights Director. And I remember quite distinctly Kelly making it clear to me that if I wanted to accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish in human rights, that I needed to hire her. It wasn't like a choice. And I am so glad that she made that clear to me, and I'm so glad that I hired her, and she's made a huge difference in her 20 years with the city.
So the reason why I nominated Kelly is for a lot of reasons. Number one, she's an amazing leader. Number two, she's a leader who just brings people together across differences. And I think what really stands out is she doesn't need to be the face of anything. She's a worker bee, she's behind the scenes, and she's just leading different initiatives and projects and never looks for the credit for anything.
The thing that stands out the most for me is that people know that she can be trusted. And if they have an issue that they would like to talk to her about or what they would like dealt with, they feel confident they can go to her and something's going to happen. They know she's talented, and they know she's caring, and they know that she will represent their interests well.
Since I've known Kelly, she's grown in a lot of ways. I think the more that you get to know Kelly, the more that she gets tired of the injustice that she sees in the community, in the country, and she's one who wants to solve these problems, but she knows she can't do it without trying to figure out how to bring people together to solve those issues. So as much as I've known Kelly, she's always been someone who wants to help others, and as she continues to grow, I continue to see her just willing to serve, right? And you don't see that in many leaders, especially as high as you climb. You know, there's leaders probably have their own agenda, but Kelly continues to figure out what can she do to make the world a better place.
Well, you asked me where do I see Kelly in 5 to 10 years, and I'm going to give you the selfish answer. I hope I see her as the Human Rights Director of the City of Dubuque. Her work's not done yet, and we still need her, and we look forward to continue to work with her.
In the next 5 to 10 years, you know, I think the journey for her will probably be writing, probably being inside of an academic area, teaching and building the next generation of leaders, especially the next generation of women. And I can see her writing a lot of books about just her experience growing up in government, you know, as once a practicing law. And just helping people. I can just see her combining all of those things to try to influence and impact the world moving forward.
To our Woman Who Makes a Difference, Kelly Larson.
I bet Mike didn't think he'd have to still put up with me after 22 years, but here I am. So I just want to thank everyone for this award, and my husband, who of course puts up with all of the crazy that this brings into my life every day, and he is here with me today. And you know, as I was thinking about this, one of the things that I thought about is, you know, this idea of making a difference, and I think we all as we're out making differences in the world, there's somebody, always somebody or several people behind us that are really to thank for that. And for me, it's my parents. My dad wasn't able to be here today. He's 81. We're trying to, avoid the COVID. And you wouldn't know he's 81 because last time I talked to him, he was 3 feet up in the air standing in the bucket of a skid loader taking apples off his tree. So he doesn't particularly act his age. And he is the kindest, gentlest, strongest man I know, with the possible exception of my husband. And from him, I really learned my mediation skills. Every time I would come home angry about some injustice from some teacher or some other person in my life, he would always remind me there's more than two sides to every story. And I think I really thank him for that reminder so that I can keep people at the center of the work that I do. And then, of course, there's my mom, who brought a very different perspective. She wanted to go to school to be a nurse, and her mom told her, well, you should probably just get married and have children. So she did, and she never let me or my sister forget that she regretted that decision not to have the children, not to get married, but giving up her dream of wanting to be a nurse. And one of the things I remember most distinctly about her is her going, when I was a teenager, going over to our local parish and saying that she wanted to get involved in the church. And the priest said to her, well, why don't you join the women who are cooking the meals for the funerals? And my mom's response was, no, I want to be on the church council. And so that's what she did. She also walked out of church one day when the priest said something she thought was sexist right in the middle of Mass. And I think my dad was horrified, and I was thinking, maybe you should have been a nun. We all know what they accomplish here. So I really owe everything to them. And so what I would say is thank you, Mom and Dad, for making a difference.
We present our Woman of Innovation Award. It's often to a female business owner or entrepreneur, but it can also be someone who brings innovation into a large company or a small business, who strives for for innovation and has a positive impact on her community and her coworkers and clients. This year's Woman of Innovation is Danielle Urbain.
When I think about Danny, the key characteristics that come to my mind first is persistence. In the environment we're in, with the manufacturing environment in the areas of technology, material flow, manufacturing, we're always going to run into challenges. We're always going to run into problems. Danny sees every challenge as just another puzzle we have to solve. And her ability to work through those puzzles and find solutions has been key to the success her and her team have driven to the business.
Some of Danny's key characteristics are that she's really an intelligent person. She is very innovative, always thinking out of the box. She understands a problem and thinks about it holistically. She understands the whole problem from front to back, and she understands the systems that the problem affects. So it makes her really effective as a leader because she knows the details and she understands how everything works together.
Danny is extremely talented. Her knowledge in manufacturing, material flow, and technology gives her a unique ability to truly understand the problems and challenges the business is facing and utilize technology to solve those problems to drive the business forward, but also to give our employees a better user experience.
I had a great first impression of Danny. I was actually very excited when she came to work for John Deere. We were manufacturing engineers together in the crawler division, and I was happy to have another female engineer to work with. I was really impressed with how quickly she learned the processes and how quickly she started to improve the processes and innovate both in manufacturing and in material flow. She really dug in and learned and applied her knowledge. As far as her impact to the Dubuque community. I know she's really involved with her two girls, the things that they're involved in, especially Rams cross country. I know she's a big supporter of that, and her children's activities. She's very, very involved with the community in that way.
What I think is most exciting to think about Danny in 5 to 10 years isn't necessarily just where she will be, but with all the people that she has led and mentored, and to understand the impact she's made for them on their own individual journeys.
I could really see her doing almost anything that she really sets her mind to. She is great as an individual contributor and knowing almost anything there is to know about a process, but she's also a great supervisor. She'd be a great manager. I really do honestly think in 5 to 10 years, sky's the limit. She could be doing really whatever she'd like to do.
As talented as Danny is as an engineer in leading material flow, as a technology leader, she's an even better person. And that's why people want to follow Danny. And that's what makes her such an exceptional leader, is people want to learn from her. They want to follow her. And that's what really sets Danny apart.
Congratulations to this year's Woman of Innovation, Danielle Urbane.
So good morning. I'd like to start out with some thank yous. So first to the Telegraph Herald for recognizing women leaders in our community. I'm extremely honored and humbled to be part of this event today. To my husband Jake and my daughters Lily and Haley, for always believing me and always supporting me in my career. My manager Adam Coleman for constantly challenging me, and I mean constantly, and really supporting my development over the last year. It really does mean a lot to me. And to my entire John Deere team for supporting development, supporting innovation, and supporting implementation of these ideas. As they say, it takes a village, and nothing that I've ever dreamed of could be accomplished without many, many hands and minds. So what does innovation mean to me? So I graduated from the University of Iowa with a degree in industrial engineering, and my first position out of college was for Pella Corporation that had a really strong focus on lean manufacturing and removing waste. There, I really got a strong foundation for my career, and it really instilled in me a natural curiosity to understand the why and to always look at how can we improve those business processes. I really feel like innovation is so key to a business. It enables creativity. It brings an energy to a team to really think outside the box and think about, it just gets them excited about when we can break down a barrier that we haven't been able to do in the past, and that ultimately is what leads to business improvements. As I reflected on what brought me to this recognition, I really have 3 points I'd like to share with you guys. One, embrace opportunities for leadership development. I had the opportunity 2 years ago to be part of the Manufacturing Leadership University at John Deere, and it really changed the course of my career. My biggest learning in that training was you have to stretch yourself to grow. So me being up here, I'll tell you, it's a big stretch for me. So that stretch has led to new opportunities, new experiences, new learnings, new ideas, and which has really brought me to the stage with these innovative ideas. 2, I've had the privilege to have really great mentors in my career. They believe in me more than I believe in myself. So I challenge you to make time for the women in your lives, and when you see them not believing in themselves, make sure they know what you see in them, and make sure you're telling them that they can do it and that nothing can hold them back. And finally, so Lillian is my oldest daughter, and she's trying to enjoy her final year of high school with everything COVID. But one of the things I most admire about her is her fearlessness to challenge herself. Whether it is running for student government, whether it is excelling academically, or being one of the fastest cross-country female runners in the state of Iowa, she's never afraid to put herself out there. And when in the past, when I'd see her achieving these goals, I would think to myself, why am I telling myself a story that I can't achieve my goals? So she was really my inspiration for applying for this position. Without her, I wouldn't be here today. So my final words, do not tell yourself you can't do something. If you want it, go do it. Thank you.
Mother of daughters, you know, that stuff's going to get to me. So finally, the Woman of the Year award is reserved for the woman, or in this case, the women, who have distinguished themselves in the community as leaders and as role models. She represents the best of who we are as women and as leaders. Our Women of the Year are Derica Williams, Gwendolyn Fountain, and Monique McCauley.
When I think of Derica, Gwendolyn, and Monique and what that makes them stand out, I am reminded of the Margaret Mead quote, and I'll paraphrase, which never doubt that a small group of people can change the world because it's the only thing that ever has. And I think they're going to change the world. I know they're going to change Dubuque, and I think we're all going to be better for it.
I've known them for 2 decades. There were marches going on when they were teenagers. Now that they're young women with kids themselves, I think now that they are engaged into the struggle, the movement, I think they understand now that the movement doesn't stop moving. They're realizing that action needs to take place as well.
Well, I wanted to nominate the founders of the Switching Places Foundation, because I've had the fortunate experience to attend some of their protests and their march that they've organized, and I was so impressed with the fact that their goal is to keep this Black Lives Matters conversation going, and I think they're going about it the right way. I think they're accomplishing their goal, and I think it's important to the future of our community that that goal is accomplished.
I am proud. I guess that's the word I would, really use in regards to describing them. You had asked what was my first impression of them. My first impression, they were teenagers. And they were in a community that were, they were here when the cross burnings was going on. They galvanized themselves and made it through that. But they took that energy and they took that hate and fueled it into what they're doing now as adults. I have been through several marches in my career here in Dubuque, as well as in my life, but what they have provided was a sense of unity, whereas young people, the elderly, as well as those individuals who normally don't come out and march or stand up for any type of justice, they have engaged that in the community.
They are demonstrating the true meaning of leadership. They've seen things that they think should be better. I've seen the energy of their gatherings. I've seen how people feel when they open up or they do their march and they have the conversation with the crowd, and then as they march and do their chants. And I really believe that that's so important to bring people along, and I think they're doing it, and I'm impressed with the diverse crowd they're bringing along.
Well, they had one of the greatest impact I've ever seen in this community, and that's with one of the marches that they conducted from Allison Henderson Park on Grandview. That was a little bit touch of concern for me because I didn't think, as we grow and move toward the west end of Dubuque, I didn't think we can, actually consolidate that many individuals into marching. The state of climate that Dubuque, Iowa continues to sometimes be in regards to race relations. I believe that that impact was profound. It was beyond what I ever would have imagined.
Where do I see Derica, Gwendolyn, and Monique in 5 to 10 years? I see them continuing in their leadership roles. And where will that take them? I don't know. Will they be on the school board? Will they be on the city council? Will it be a state representative? Or whatever their goal might be. I see that they have those leadership capabilities, and I know we as a community need them, and I think the community will embrace them.
You know, I think they're just at the starting point of their young careers, but I think they are they're moms, so they do have some maturity and they have some worry in regards to having young black men as sons, you know, and young black women as daughters. With this racial climate that's going on between all other communities, especially in housing and education. You know, I think they will only grow, and I think that growth will lend its helping hand into galvanizing the things that they need to galvanize.
In this case, it's a group, all three of you got this together, but I want everybody to have their moment, so we're going to do these one at a time. Please welcome and congratulate Woman of the Year, Derica Williams.
Okay, so I didn't expect to come up here by myself. I'm so used to having Monique and Gwen by my side, but it's okay. I just want to say that I am very, very honored to be able to receive this award today. I would have never imagined that when I came here in 1995 that I would be standing here today, this many years later, being honored for standing up for what's right. I've always known that I didn't like to be treated a certain way. I didn't like to see my peers being treated a certain way. I just didn't know what to do about it. Like, what can I do? And I am very happy to say that just telling my story is just good enough. Because as long as people know what we go through and can understand and then try to change, as long as we can build relationships and bring people together, then we can all have an understanding and we can all try to make things better. And I just appreciate Dubuque. I appreciate the support from the community. I appreciate my family, my husband, my sisters for watching my children while we create these marches and create these events and try to bring people together. I appreciate Monique and Gwen for being there and being so strong and us working together. We got so many years in this, you guys, and look at us now, man. We're sitting here, we're making a difference. This is what it's all about. And I really appreciate Telegraph Herald for recognizing us. This is something that it's a moment in my life that I'll never forget. Thank you.
Please congratulate Woman of the Year, Gwendolyn Fountain.
Wait, I'm nervous. Oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I'm so nervous. First of all, I just want to thank the Telegraph Herald for the nomination, everyone who nominated for Switching Places and the Queens for Peace. This is so overwhelming. I didn't expect to be up here by myself. I'm the nervous friend who always cries, so prepare yourself. I'm trying to get through this. Never thought I'd be here today. If I do say anything, I'm trying to make this quick. I just want to thank everyone for nominating for us, for being so supportive, everyone in the community for helping us make a difference. Please be on the lookout for more to come. This isn't the end. there's so much more we can do when the community is united instead of divided. Oh my goodness. So nervous. So thank you guys so much. This is like one of the most amazing feelings. A milestone in my life as well as my children. And I just want to thank the community for believing that it is time to make a difference. And as we have said before, a community divided should not be divided. Please be on the lookout for more to come. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much.
Please congratulate Woman of the Year, Monique McCauley.
Hello. I'm usually the one in the back quiet. I let Derek and Francine do all the talking. I am so scared, y'all. Y'all just do not know. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh my God. Like, I'm speechless. I just don't know what to say. I just want to thank you guys for nominating us. I want to thank the community most, because the way Dubuque stood up, is standing up, is amazing. I would not have pictured this 10 years ago, 20 years ago at all. So to see us come together like this, to see people on Grandview come out their houses, pass out waters, give out freeze pops, it was just an amazing experience. I want to thank Derica. I want to thank my girlfriend, Francine. We 20 years in this, y'all. And this just is an amazing experience to achieve together. I'm shaking, y'all. Y'all just, it feel like I'm finna fall out. But I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank my family. Y'all, my family came up here and surprised me yesterday. Y'all, it's amazing. They came from Chicago. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. And that's it. That's all. Thank y'all so much.
Well, I'm sorry to put you all on the spot to make you go individually there, but I was thinking about, we had an event recently and Anderson Sancy spoke, and he talked about taking a moment to have your moment, you know, and soak it in. And so I just thought they got to soak it in individually. So sorry, put you on the spot, but you know, I think with everything that has happened in 2020, you know, and we look around at some of the things that have happened in other communities, it's real easy to say, yeah, that could have been Dubuque, that could have happened here. And a big reason that Dubuque has had the kind of positive events that we've had this year, it's because of these Queens of Peace. And so we, on behalf of our community, we appreciate you. The fact that we're doing this today at the same time we're honoring one of our law enforcement officers, I think it's a perfect symmetry for this year. So on behalf of our sponsor today, Dubuque Community Credit Union, Biz Times, Telegraph Herald, and Her Magazine, and if you haven't read these women's stories, you need to get yourself a copy of Her Magazine and read their stories. All of these women's stories are told. Well, they're in Biz Times as well. But hearing a little bit more about their background, I think will really be inspiring. So I hope you're feeling the inspiration today that I am. Thank you to Lori Ball and all her folks at the Diamond Joe. Always help us put on a great event. So thank you all. Have a good day.